I came to this country as a refugee. My mom didn't even have $50 in her pocket. Single mother, struggled all my life. I shared quickly with you guys on the live. I lived on the streets, homeless, and I think I des- I deserve it to. I deserve to see how far I can go with it.
Welcome everyone to the Keen on You podcast. We are excited to have you here, and we have an amazing guest who's going to drop some multifamily and lots of I don't want to say bombs on you because
he said bombs.
He said bombs.
I said I wasn't going to drop just nuggets. I was going to be dropping bombs.
Nice. Yes.
And he's as passionate about real estate and like we ourselves. And so it's great to be able to have you on here, Alfonso, because there's nothing better than real estate to build wealth that we know of. And like you said in the live, you have that ongoing income and repeat customer that goes out and works to pay you and pay your, pay their way. So there's nothing better than that.
It's so beautiful.
And so like you were at the point in the story where you were telling us about that discovery of multifamily and how you came to be an investor and, those ups and downs in business. Would you say multifamily investing is your main business now?
Absolutely. I mean, I have multiple streams of income, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That was one. I hope you got that takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
But the multifamily. I mean, I own apartment buildings all across Canada. We're set up for big growth, so we're looking at acquiring 7,500 doors in the next 5 years, and it might be an aggressive goal. People might ask a question like, why do you need that?
Why not?
That's what I said. Why not? I mean,
why not? Can it be too big?
Yeah, I came to this country as a refugee. My mom didn't even have $50 in her pocket. Single mother, struggled all my life. I shared quickly with you guys on the live. I lived on the streets, homeless, and I think I deserve it. I deserve to see how far I can go with it.
And you're also, I'm sure, Alfonso, you're trying to change the future generations. You don't want your future generations to have to struggle and do that when you've come to a country of opportunity.
Yeah. So part of what I do is just to show people what can be done, what's possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't aim to motivate anybody. I aim to inspire people to take action for themselves.
You do that in multiple folds. I will be an example of you motivating and inspiring people. So I will say you're successful at that.
And people can do it at all ages, right? It's like I've met 16, 17-year-olds that have taken control over their life and started investing into real estate. So what Andrea was talking about, inspiring people to do this. We started a foundation, so it's called the Quadra Youth Foundation, and we teach financial literacy because real estate is just one facet of building wealth, but it's being financially literate first, right? Understanding the power of having an investor mindset. What does that look like versus being a consumer, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was 14 years old, any money that would come into my existence would leave. Either I would buy Michael Jordan shoes or whatever, right? I mean, I was very much a consumer. And there's nothing wrong with consumers because we need consumers. We live in a consumer-based society, and 96% of the people are consumers. And it's important. That's what keeps the economy moving forward. 4% of the people have the investor mindset, and 4% of the people in the world actually own 96% of the wealth.
I agree.
And so there's certain things that these 4% have in common. And that's the study, right? That's the study that I've taken upon myself, and the study of building wealth, creating generational wealth, and inspiring others to do the same for themselves, and helping and impacting lives, right? The multifamily space has given me ultimate freedom to be able to pursue these things, to be on podcasts with you, you know, to inspire thousands, you know, to give of my time, because I know that, you know, other people are working hard, right? They're exchanging their time to come and pay their rent, and that gives me back my time. And with my time, what I chose to do is to give back and give to others and change others, you know, impact lives.
Mm-hmm. And that's that's very big. I don't think the youth of today have been given the advantages, you know, that they could be, because in school it's not a focus to teach them financial literacy. It doesn't help prepare you. We're consumers first because that's what we learn, right? To value.
The society is set up to build more consumers.
Yes.
The society is set up to create more employees.
Yes.
Right. And the problem is that we're moving into something completely different, where, you know, employees, you know, jobs are changing. The way jobs are changing,
Yeah.
right? And so people need to be more self-sufficient. They need to take care of their finances.
Yeah.
And, you know, if the government, if we wait for the government to, you know, put out information and, you know, give a book to a teacher to teach financial literacy, how can someone that is financially illiterate teach financial literacy? When I was 11 years old, I asked an important question. So, you know, we've never owned a house. We've never, you know, my family, we've all, you know, back home, we, you know, we come from very modest means. Education is very valued, but we never had any, there was never any, the results were never monetary, right? And for whatever reason, I'd heard this word mortgage, you know, and think of me, a little boy in class, put up my little hand, and I said, I have a question. What's a mortgage? And then the teacher, the answer will surprise, it's a little comical, but she says, a mortgage is something you get when you're older.
Oh.
You know,
like a rash or something.
Even at 10 years old, I know this is that's a BS answer. Come on, you know, you can do better than that. And so I knew I was going to have to there's something told me that I was going to be on my own.
Yeah.
And so financial literacy starts at home. My mom could not teach me financial literacy.
She didn't know it either.
She didn't know it,
didn't
right?
have it.
She didn't know. She didn't tell me about credit and how to use credit, right? It was very taboo. I still remember my mom calling the bank because the bank had sent a pre-approved credit card to the house. And she called that bank and she said, if I find out that you activated this card, I'm going to come down there personally. I'm like, Mom, you don't even know where they are, first of all. And imagine being upset because people are sending you money, you know? And so there's certain things that the wealthy teach their kids that the 96% of the people do not.
Yeah.
And so that was a question. It's like, that was a big question mark for me, because as I shared with you, you know, I was very successful with with my very first business, I almost lost everything because I was very much a consumer. And so sitting there devastated, I asked a good question. What am I doing wrong? What did I do wrong? And after reading multiple books about people that had already gotten to where I wanted to go, I realized that I had no financial education, right? I didn't know about business. I didn't know about finances. I didn't know about entrepreneurship. I didn't know about real estate, multifamily. And I think it comes and because the subject matter of this podcast, we want to tie it into the immigrant experience. I can speak to how it is back home in Latin America, where governments are very corrupt. And if someone has something, even a little bit of money, everybody's like, he must have done something wrong. He must have stole that, right? Because that's how it is in developing countries. It's very corrupt. There's a lot of corruption. And so that's the mindset that we come to this country with.
So that having maybe money is bad.
Yeah, of course. So imagine that. Imagine if you think it's bad and corrupt. I'm going to give you guys a little example. When I was 12 years old, do you guys remember the 8-ball leather jacket that Fresh Prince wore? In the Fresh Prince, it's got that big 8-ball on the back. Do you guys remember that jacket?
Yes.
Okay. I needed this jacket. But when I tell you I needed this jacket was it for me. If I had this jacket, there was a girl I had a crush on. And if I had this jacket, for sure, I could go on a date with her. This was like the pinnacle of jackets. And so I went to my mom, of course, immigrant mom. We have nothing. I said, Mom, I need this jacket. And she's like, we don't have money for that. No, but you don't understand. I need this jacket. You know what I mean? And she's like, well, we don't have money. Well, how much is it? I said, $200. She's like, are you crazy? And so I did everything. I traded my shoes. I sold, video games. I did everything. I did everything in my power to get this jacket. I finally saved my own $200. I went to the store. I bought this jacket with my own money. I didn't even put it in a bag. I took the tag off in the store and I wore it out of the store. That's how excited I was about this jacket. I get home and my mom says, Alfonso, and she said it in Spanish, so I don't know if it translates very well. She says, Alfonso, who did you leave crying for that jacket? She thought I did something wrong. Yes. Like that was the assumption, right? And so this is some of the mindset that people come into this country with, right? When you have an unhealthy relationship with money, money will never show up in your life.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like maybe you get the high grades, but you guys know we're living in a different world. A university degree does not equate a beautiful life
or success and having money and building good income. It doesn't mean anything.
It did at some point.
Yes.
Right? It did. And it probably still does in developing countries, right? But here we have a very powerful tool, which is called debt. We can leverage in this country. That's the difference. And my mom told me the most important things were my grades, university degree, et cetera, et cetera. The number that counted the most when I got into the real world was my credit
score. Yeah.
That's the number.
Say it again. Your credit score.
Yeah, the credit says everything about you. It's unbiased. When someone is looking at a credit score, they don't know that I'm from Latin America. They don't know that I'm brown. They don't know that I'm short. They don't know if I'm, they don't know if I'm transgender. They don't, it's a non-biased number that says everything about a person and their ability to manage finances.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is the what I teach my own kids. That when you get out into this real world, you will be judged by this number.
Mm-hmm.
And so you better learn how to use your credit so you can benefit from how everybody's built wealth using debt.
Mm-hmm.
Why real estate is such a powerful financial instrument is because you can leverage the most, right? Why I love apartment buildings is because I can leverage $10 million and all of the tenants are going to help me pay down that debt. That's beautiful.
It is. It is.
Right? It gives me goosebumps even just talking about it, right? It's, it's think about it. You can borrow $10 million and have all of these people, other people, pay it down for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That is the bomb that we remember. We're going to drop bombs
Bomb.com.
here. That's the bomb, like boom, right? And
Mhm.
so when I was young, when I was getting started in real estate, I'm like, okay, so I borrow 500,000. These group of people are going to help me pay this down. Okay, well, why don't I borrow 10 million? Why do I borrow 20 million? Right? And that was a huge discovery when I realized that the more you borrow, the more you play that game, the wealthier you become, the less taxes you really have to pay. The whole world opens up because now you're entering that 4%, the investor mindset.
Now, Alfonso, and this may be, maybe not a beginner class when I ask you this, but, now that we're seeing a lot of people are interested in investing in real estate and our current environment, I know as a seasoned investor, you don't necessarily need to stay in your local, area, Ontario.
Well, he's across Canada, so
You were across Canada.
and
So
cross, yeah.
you go elsewhere. But how do you tell somebody who's just starting out, how do they sort of think about frame? How do they get their foot in, their toe in into, getting into
The
this?
pinky toe.
Yeah.
Well, the very, as you know, I'm not preaching to the choir here. The first step should be education.
Yeah.
Right. You know, if someone doesn't know how to analyze a deal, how to calculate a deal, how to identify a deal, they're just going to be speculators like everybody else.
Mhm.
They're going to enter a transaction hoping and wishing to make money versus knowing, right? And so there's certain formulas that we use as investors, and how do we calculate cash flow, right? And cash flow is what I'm looking for. So whether it's the up market, down market, I never really ever deviate from my formula, and I just amplify it, right? So it's like during these times, people don't know what to do, but when you come up against deals, when you find a deal, you can make that much more money in a market like this versus a buyer's market.
Mm-hmm. You can make money in a seller's market because you know how to analyze the deal.
Yeah, because you learn how you now the deals are going to be less, but when you find the deal, you're going to make more from that deal, right? I'll give you an example. I bought a property just in November, right, for about 400,000, that now is worth 1.5 million. I thought I was only going to get, so it was a value add, of course. I was going to
Okay.
renovate
So
the property.
yeah.
But I thought I was going to get about $1 million, but now it's worth 1.5, right? So I worked hard to identify a deal, and because the market is working for me, right, I was able to make more than I thought I would have.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
That's in a buyer's market.
That's another bomb.
That's another bomb.
That's another bomb.
Right? You
Yeah.
400,000 and now it's 1.5 mil by doing the right thing, knowing the numbers, evaluating the numbers, and then sitting in on it, right? In a fantastic market,
Yeah.
which is a seller's market.
Yeah, and so you can ride. I mean, there's times to also in a seller's market, if you know what you're doing, you can sell assets and trade assets that were smaller for bigger, better assets. Where you're now, if you're leveling up, your cost per unit will go down, so you can buy. You can easily get the price you want on an asset that maybe before you would have said, well, maybe I'll keep it for another 20 years, 10 years, 15 years. But now you say, you know what? I can just, I mean, if people want to be speculators, go ahead, and then you can take that and, buy something better, bigger, better.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. I'm definitely at the school of Alfonso right now, and
I think we all are. So if our listeners are listening, these bombs can turn you into multimillionaires just by taking note and using them, because we're talking about leveraging. We're talking about the multiplier effect with the multi-units, right? And of course you added, and I don't think you gave enough details, but you talked about adding value to a property that you bought at 400 and brought it to 1.5. That's huge.
Yeah.
In what's that? 6
months.
Not a year, right? 6 months.
Wow. That's amazing.
And so that only happens as a result of the market.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, because we don't have to do much. The work that you did, of course, helped aid in the increase, but the market itself is doing most of the work.
And Alfonso, at this point, and maybe, I mean, do you work with investors, or do you, now that you've come to this point, you just load it and you do it all with your own cash? How do you do that?
You know what? I do all of the above. Right. If I see an opportunity and like, it's just easier for me to buy it, and it could be an asset that goes to our portfolio, fine. If it's an acquisition for our investors, because we have investors, and like, you have to feed the sharks, you got to feed the hungry sharks. And so we do that. Right. So I'm not really stuck on one particular strategy. I don't need to have 100%. I don't need to own 50%. I'm happy even sometimes investing in other people's deals, right? But the majority of our deals right now, because we're now entering like 100 plus units at a time, they're all done with investors.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. That is very cool. I think we've been talking for a while, and you've dropped quite a few bombs, but I think I'm gonna maybe wrap it up with, can you leave us with 3 more tips? They don't have to be bombs, but they could be, if you have them left, that,
this is when I pull out the nuggets.
Yeah, the nuggets can come out and, share.
I mean, you've given a lot of nuggets and bombs, but if you could wrap it up even, or summarize it.
Well, this is what I would say. Okay. I'm going to give people key things that they can do right now. Number 1, get information. I shared so many times, I read books. Those were helping me transform. Those books helped me transform. That information helped me transform. But I also got the education, the specific education in real estate investing, learning how to identify a deal, learning how to underwrite a deal. That is important. Next, look for people that have done what you are looking to do. Mentors, coaches. Surround yourself around people that are better than you, that are flying high, right? People that inspire you, help you create more, become more, do more, see outside of the box, make you uncomfortable. You need to seek and look for those people in your life, mentors, coaches, whatever you have to do to tap into someone else's knowledge that has been there before. Do whatever you have to do. Next, whatever the advice is, do it, right?
Take action.
Yeah, take action. A lot of people, you know, they're just like they're information junkies, right?
Yes.
They're just like content junkies. Like they're online watching videos, YouTube videos, reading books, more books. Like, you are better off reading a paragraph of a book and taking action on that paragraph than reading 500 books. Then you didn't do anything, right? And so, you know, once you find the people that are doing what you want to do and you ask for their advice, go and do it. You know, take action. You know, go out there and start using some of these things, and look to become influential. Expand your circle of influence, because if you expand your circle of influence, then the deals come faster, the money comes faster, the investors come faster. Because think about it, the second you start to become influential to the people around you, so if you, for example, we started to share, you know, through podcasts and doing
Webinars.
exactly what you're doing, webinars, things like that. It's very simple. Your circle of the people that you are surrounded yourself with, boom, you become influential to them. And checks flow upwards. No one ever signs a check downwards, right? No one signs a check to a person that they feel that they're
Superior to,
right? So you need to become influential to the people around you. And how do you do that? With knowledge, right? You have to have the intellectual currency, because if you develop the intellectual currency, this is what you know, then you will never need actual currency ever again, because all these things will come to you, right? So maybe it's a mouthful. I don't know how, there's a few nuggets there mixed in with some bombs, but you know, if you get anything, get educated and take action.
That's right.
Yeah. We love that word action too. So
I know you do. You guys are action takers.
Yeah.
Fire.
Alfonso, this has been, you know, mind-blowing, explosive, and we love it, and we love you for sharing and, you know, coming on.
I love you guys. You guys are amazing. You're doing great things. Great things.
Yeah. And
we aspire to be you as well. So how could we not, right?
Yeah,
we're
you know,
looking up to you, and we're definitely, I mean, amazing, you know, as an immigrant to come here pretty much, like you said, with nothing, and learned quickly that the consumer mindset just couldn't sustain you in a business that you were being very successful in, and you had to learn to pivot quickly to build that mindset that is an investor mindset, right? That allows you to profit from leveraging.
Yeah. And
I think that it's amazing.
Then you start to build wealth, generational wealth.
Generational wealth is
so as I'm generational wealth is created by the transfer of assets with the mindset.
With the mindset, I agree, and the knowledge, because they need it too, right?
I've read this book that says, you know, it takes 4 generations to build wealth, and it takes 1 generation to blow it up and just throw it away. So it's not hard to throw it away at all.
Yeah.
So Alfonso, thank you so much. And actually, you don't have to answer on the podcast, but I do have an ask for you in August. Hopefully you'll come back and visit us in August. And so we can chat about that a little more. But
before we end, Alfonso, I think you should share how our peeps and listeners can reach you. And, you know, because you shared a lot of great information, and I am certain that many of our listeners will want to reach out to you and continue learning from you. So share that, please.
Well, I'm very Googleable, right?
Okay. I like that.
Make up your own words, Googleable.
But you
Yes.
know what? Everybody, when you want to know something or you're not sure, Google it, right?
Yeah,
Google
exactly.
is the biggest
Yeah.
education platform today.
Yeah, so you actually can find me on all the platforms. And if you can't find me, shame on me, because I make it my mission to be highly available and everywhere. But if you want to get more specific, I have a YouTube channel. I'm doing daily videos. I'm dropping daily bombs on people, and I think they can get a lot of value. A subscription to the YouTube channel is free, and I definitely cater the content to the audience, so you guys can participate and tell me things that you want to hear about, and I do daily lives.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
And you're Googleable, so we can find you anywhere you are.
Thank you so much. Okay.
You
Well,
guys are amazing. You have a great platform here. Congratulations, because you have come far.
thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that coming from you because we are definitely looking to be you.
Yeah, we definitely we look up to you. So thank you so much, Alfonso. And Andrea, if you can wrap up with just saying how our listeners can reach us.
Yes. Well, thank you all for tuning in and listening. And if you missed us on our Facebook Live, where we definitely don't know what we're doing, but we learned today and we're constantly learning, we could be reached and found on our website, www.kean, that's KEAN, group.ca. We're also on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram at Keen on You and Facebook at Keen Real Estate Group. So reach out to us. We are here, like Alfonso, to educate you, to ensure that you are able to learn and take action. So we look forward to connecting with you. And thank you very much again, Alfonso, for joining us.
Thank you, guys. This is amazing. Have a good one.
You
Yes.
too.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment down below, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified the next time we're doing a video. And guess what? Like, share, dislike, I don't care! Let me see how that looks.